Alright. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Racer from RazorTube coming at you with some unexpected yet pleasurable news about DayZ. And you've guessed it, if you haven't read it on Twitter already, the 1.08 update is out on the experimental branch right now for DayZ. And that's what we're currently on, myself and Jade Monkey.
Yeah!
So, update 1.8 is going to be coming soon. It's going to be on experimental first, which we're currently on, and then it'll go to the live branch or official servers after they work out all the kinks and bumps and whatnot. So, typically how it works, it'll go from experimental to official servers on PC, and then shortly after it goes to official servers on PC, then it goes over to the console. So, I'm going to kind of read through the things they're fixing and then show you their little Twitter that they tweeted today, and then hopefully you like what you hear, and hopefully I like what I see. So, ooh, wait, there's a guy up here. Ooh, the zombies are chasing him. Word? Come on, I hope he gets eaten alive. Anyways, alright, let's get back. Let's get back to the news. Alright. So, hopefully I'm safe here. Today on Twitter it says, hello survivors, the experimental update 1.8 has just been released on PC. Please try it out and let us know your feedback. Instructions and more info about the experimental update can be found here. So you click on this link, I'll post it in the description below, and it'll tell you everything about experimental. So here's the article on 1.8 for experimental, and it says, we hope everyone is staying safe during these challenging times. Things have surely taken a route only a few would imagine at the beginning of this year. For us, the DayZ development team, and keep in mind we've had the pandemic going on, so everything's slowed considerably, so that might have been why 1.8's been so laggy being released. Anyways, it says switching to a roughly 2-month home office was certainly an interesting experience, but we are back in the office ready to share what we have been working on, the long-awaited 1.8 game update. As usual, we are starting these with a series of experimental builds where we would like to get as much feedback as possible. If you're interested in trying it out, simply start DayZ Experimental from Steam and join one of the available experimental servers. And then it says, so issues and suggestions are very welcome on our official channels, so you can give them their feedback on the feedback tracker and their forums. So if you find anything wrong, you can shoot it to them and they'll address it. So it says base destruction and raiding is one of the most significant changes. Fences and watchtowers are no longer destructible using actions, but instead by standard melee attacks, firearms, or explosives. Any non-vital part can receive damage and shows visual damage alongside with an option to repair it. In addition to this, all tents are destructible. Thank God. Using standard.
That was a big one. Remember they would
Yeah.
block the entrances and stuff all the
Yeah,
time?
yeah, everybody would always block the entrances. It was so annoying. But it says using standard melee attacks, firearms, or explosives as well as they can be repaired. If a tent becomes ruined, it will flatten and spill its oh my gosh. It will spill its contents onto the ground. That is awesome. Similar logic
That's nice.
was also applied for all community used storage items such as barrels and crates. In addition, some light balancing changes and bug fixes happen. These include, among others, increased material costs for the wooden crate. Well, that's pretty good because the wooden crate's OP, to be honest. Lifetime of the hidden stash has decreased to 2 weeks, which is good, and better action targeting when interacting with base building objects. All of these changes have really high chances of spicing up the current base building meta, and we are looking forward to hearing your feedback from experimental adventures. Well, I think it's nice that they fixed the crates and the tents, because the crates sitting out in the middle of nowhere for months, and then somebody goes and picks them up and just starts wrecking when they want to pick the game up was ridiculous. And the tents holding, all this loot, that kind of gets rid of the whole blocking the entrance, and the fact that you can wreck a tent and then get the loot is even better. You're just going to get so much more out of it. It says, besides the base building changes, we have made a lot of changes to the fireplaces. The old cooking slots were replaced with something we call direct cooking slots. These slots accept both cooking equipment and individual food, meaning you are no longer dependent on always carrying a piece of cookware with you. Fireplaces have also received lots of balancing changes and bug fixes. These, for example, include the return of the ignition conditions tied to the interior spaces, weather conditions, and so on, to make fire ignition more authentic. So I'm assuming you can't start a fire in the rain.
Yeah.
While this is inevitably reduces the number of places you can create a fire now, worry not, there is a new indoor fireplace type, which you can find in various buildings. So I'm assuming in most of those one-floor houses, when you see the grill in there, instead of making a fire, you could just make a little grill out of it to cook from, which is nice because they're doing that.
What I've seen so far, are those, you remember those like little tiny fireplaces that had like the pipe that you could see that went up out of the wall? Those are open. You can open those up and cook from those now.
Oh,
And I think,
that's good.
yeah, like the slots and stuff have changed for like the standard big fireplaces you see inside the houses with grills and stuff.
Hmm.
That's what I've seen so far.
That's pretty good. So now we have like a lot more options to cook indoors and not stay out in the rain and figure out how to get a fire going and sitting out there and getting soaked and dying while we're eating, which is nice. I like the raid stuff they fixed. Maybe that'll make a big change in some of the issues they've been having with that. And then let's continue. It says we would also like to hear your feedback on the rework of the weapon sway and hold breath behavior. Ooh, that's interesting. When holding your breath, the stamina consumption is now non-linear. The swaying pattern is much more stable, and there are new sound effects when your character is running out of air to warn you ahead of heavy stamina drain. We have also made some changes in the way vehicles spawn into the world, which should improve the situation with the instability of vehicles when parked in closed spaces such as barns. Oh, thank God, because before, remember where they would get stuck in the rafters and stuff? Ooh. Let's see, vehicles additionally receive changes to brake power behavior, which now increases over time rather than instantly causing loss of control over the car. And when talking about vehicles, it's also now possible to pull dead bodies out of the car. And some changes to the damage system were done to solve some of the issues with hits getting registered multiple times when going through more complicated damage zones, such as chest or pelvis, resulting in survivors receiving more damage than they should have. Then they continue and they just say, that's all for now. Head out to experimental servers. There's more stuff to find and things to explore. So for 1.08, we've gotten rating fixes, vehicle fixes, cooking fixes, and I did not hear about some of the other issues, but hopefully they worked on the desync and the long-lasting duping, but it looks like they're making some headway now that they can operate out of the office and push updates out. So yeah, I don't know. I think those are some pretty good major changes. I know that the building meadow for a long time was definitely frowned upon, only because of things you could or could not do. And I think, with the tents being able to be broken now, that's a huge deal because people would build huge bases out of them. You couldn't wreck them to get to them, and they would just block off a whole area and just store loot. So I think that's some pretty good changes that are going to be leading up to the more impactful ones when it comes to bug fixing and, with the duping and whatever else they got going on. So I don't know. I think as new players and for us veteran players, those changes are pretty good all around. I think I'm a little bit more hopeful that the game will have a strong turnaround with these up-and-coming updates. And now that the pandemic's kind of, dialing it down a little bit and everybody can kind of come back to the office and work, they can figure out how to get this thing going. But that's all for me. If you want to check out the rest of my channel, I can post a lot of DayZ content in the past. Can probably be playing a lot of the 1.8 update as it progresses. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys drop those subs and likes. If you guys want to check out the other members of the Boyfriend Squad, Jade Monkey and BioLaser,
Yeah.
you can do so by going to the description below. If you want to also be a part of our Discord community, you can do that by clicking on the link below, and then you can catch other players in DayZ or whatever game you play and link up with them and join in on the old adventure. So that's it for me. This is the DayZ 1.8 update news, and I'll see you soon in the world of DayZ. Catch you later. I'm gonna go fight all these zombies. This is an epic ending right here. Let's do this. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Drop a sub and like. Oh man, I'm gonna die. Ooh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go in the house. No. Oh, close the door. Oh. Peace.